Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about using KNIME and pulling data that we extracted from Revit into it. And we're just going to do something pretty simple, which is grabbing the air terminal table and then reading that data, filtering it to supply terminals, and then exporting that to Excel. That's kind of the starting spot, and then in later videos I'm gonna try to evolve that and try other things in KNIME. So if you have any ideas or want to see anything, let me know. I'd love to hear those. So to start off, what is KNIME? It's a data analytics tool, and it's really flexible, and you can develop these workflows that you can then take and reuse for other projects. You can reuse at scale on bigger things, and there's a lot of flexibility you can do with that. You can create these really incredible workflows that do a bunch of different things to your data. It may transform it, it may plug it into machine learning, and then take that into some visualization that is shown to the end user. And you can build these workflows. It's similar in the way that it works. It has nodes like Dynamo. These are very different though in the way it's used. So this is meant for data analytics, machine learning, data transformation, and stuff like that. Whereas Dynamo can do some of those things, but is not specifically built for that. But it does, in probably the most similar thing they have is that they both use nodes. They both have wires that connect into different nodes, and the flow kind of goes from left to right, just like Dynamo. So anyways, that's kind of what it is, and it's I think this is an important topic because data management in AEC is really important. It's not as cool as maybe all of the AI stuff or all of the really interesting tools that are coming out, but I think it's really foundational, and it supports a lot of those technologies. You know, for us to leverage BIM correctly, we need to be putting good data into our models, and that good data can be used at every phase of the project by every party, and they can, you know, get a lot of benefit from it. And the same for if we want to leverage AI, well, we need to be giving it good data, structured data, data we understand ourselves and what we want to get out of it. And to do that, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of understanding of your data, there's a lot of just little things that go into that. You know, auditing your data on models or in your data warehouse or on your projects, auditing it, fixing that data. You know, some of it's really tedious type stuff, and there's tools that can make that process smoother or automated, and you know, KNIME is one of those tools that can, I think, really help with that, or at least be a fun thing to help you explore the data you do have and maybe come up with practical solutions with it. So anyways, that's kind of the intro to this. We'll jump into KNIME and start looking at it. Alright, so before we get into KNIME, if you want to see how I got this data from Revit, this video here, Revit exporting ODBC database from Revit, check that video out because that will show you how to connect Revit to an Access database and then export out that data so that you can then take it into tools like Power BI, or in this case, and what I'm going to show you, into KNIME. So check that out on the channel. And here I've got Access open, and this is kind of the data from the Revit model. The Revit model I used was the Snowden Towers from Revit 2024, and this is the HVAC model. So for this example, we're going to look at the air terminals, and I'm going to click on the table just to show you an example of what that looks like. So this is the table. We've got the IDs, the type ID, phase created, some other parameters associated with those elements. So we've got the system class. we're actually going to use the system class and filter for only supply air in this example. So with that shown, now let's jump into KNIME. So I'm going to minimize this, and this is KNIME. So KNIME's a really cool tool. The UI can get pretty busy. There's a lot of things going on. We're just going to focus on a few things. So just the canvas here, and then over here to the left we'll have our recommended nodes. And so this is the workflow coach. I don't think by default that's turned on. That's something you have to enable. And then down here below is the node library. So these are all the different nodes. I don't really use this, or at least I don't browse it manually. I will use the search. So we're going to use the Microsoft Access node connector, and this is going to allow us to connect it into the database I have set up. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up the folder that I have the Excel or Access database in. I'm going to paste that path in there. Actually go back and select on the Access file, and then I'll click, should just be able to click OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and click execute. So that when it's green, that means it ran. There isn't any other settings. The output of that still might mean that you need to change something in there, but it successfully ran without any errors pretty much. Okay, so all of that looks cool. Now the next one is selecting a table, and this is really cool. I love this functionality. If we select on the node over to the left, you'll see the recommended nodes, and then you'll see community percentage. So this is how often they use those nodes after the one you have selected. So in this case, we're going to do the DB table selector. We'll just drag these and connect them, or that wire, and then again right click on it, update the settings. I'm going to select a table, expand this one, and then we will just grab air terminals. And again, if we just execute this, we'll see it's green, so that means it ran without any errors. Now if we right click and go down here to DB data, we can get a preview sometimes of that data. Looks like I am not. So let me actually do the DB reader. So that one should be right here. And sometimes this happens, but if you select and you see there's no percentages, you just have to move that over a little bit and you'll see it pop up. Alright, so let's connect that. Execute. Shouldn't be anything we have to mess around with there. And then now down here we should see the preview of that data. So this is the output of that table, everything we saw in Access. So same thing. Alright, so now we'll do a row filter to only grab supply terminals. That's going to be the first one. This one's kind of cool because if I can get it. So 9%, 9, so not very high, but it's very scattered. There's a lot of different nodes that people use after this one. So after they get the data in, then they'll start doing all sorts of cool things. So you can see all of those there, which is, I think, really cool. So we're just going to do a row filter. Plug that into there. This one we'll have to update. So we're going to say that it includes and actually let's change our parameter. We'll need to change it to the system classification, or actually system name. Let's go there. Switch it back. Okay, system classification. So now if we select on supply error, over here to the left we'll say includes. So anything that includes supply error, it'll keep those, and anything that doesn't have it, it'll remove those. All right, click OK, and then we should be able to execute this node. Click Run. Now, if we right-click it, we can go down here to Filtered, and then now we can see we've got all the supply error terminals. And if we go over here to Reader, we can actually see that these are all the, this is a mix of supply and exhaust and return. Alright, so now the data is all filtered and is what we want. We can dump it out to Excel now. So we can do the Excel writer node, place that, and then plug this into it, right click it, and then here we just need to paste the location of the file. I've already exported one out, so we'll just grab that path, paste it in there, click browse, and then select the Excel file. You can also, and actually let me change that to overwrite, and then if the file isn't created, then what you can do is when you click browse, you can just browse out to the location and then create whatever name you want for that Excel file. Alright, so we should be good. Now if I execute that, it should run. And now if I open up File Explorer, we'll see that it just ran. So here's the export, and if we open that, we'll see that it's just the same data except for it's the filtered one. Alright, so that was a quick look at grabbing data from the Access database and then pulling it in, or pulling in a specific table, filtering it, and then writing that to Excel. That's not an exciting workflow, but I think it's a starting point to do really cool things, because now we know how to get the data into KNIME, and we can start to tweak it, transform it, and get it into a format or into a way that we want, say, to be used in machine learning, or into a visualization that we would then show somebody. So there's a lot of flexibility there. This is just a starting point, and we'll evolve it. We'll continue adding to this over time. But I'd love to hear if you have any use cases, or if you would want to see certain things. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. But anyways, that's kind of what I got here. Yeah, and really thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next one.